Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Warrington from rjmindbody.com. Welcome to guided meditation. So today we're going to be working on concentrating on the solar plexus chakra. And this particular chakra is quite interesting. It has why it's interesting is because it's very much about you rather than our relationships. The first two chakras, the root chakra and the sacral chakra, are about other people, include other people. It's not that it's not about you. They include the root chakra includes our families or our ancestors, and also maybe very close friends. And the sacral chakra are our friendships, but also our lovers. So it has a lot. Those are two very much tied to our relationships. But this chakra is basically about how you feel about yourself, in terms of your confidence level, your self-esteem, how your self-worth. It's very, and it's how you feel on a regular basis, because that chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the manipura, will fluctuate depending on what's happening in our lives. So if we're going through any kind of major change in our job, or we're learning a new skill, obviously our confidence in that space is going to be impacted. We might be more anxious, we might feel unprepared, or all those, a lot more pressured. But that is also, once you've learned, or you've been able to hone that skill a little bit, your confidence builds up very quickly. Now, some people, they have very low confidence and they've always had it. So even if they're doing well in their job, or they're doing well in something that they have an interest in, they will still be somebody who is very hard on themselves. And then there are people who are afraid to try new things, and they're always thinking, well, should I? I don't want to, or I can't, I'm afraid. So fear crops in. So this solar plexus, which is just above the navel and around the whole section around to our middle back, has the energy of that could either take us. The word destroy isn't the right word. It can hinder our confidence and our sense of power, or we can change that. And how we change it is through the best ways to change, and we're going to concentrate on the solar plexus, is first asking yourself, well, what is going on with me? How is my confidence? And exploring, is that confidence, do you feel confident in some areas in your life and some you don't? Are you overall a confident person? Do you feel empowered most of the time? If the answer is no, then that energy, there's not enough of that energy. So it's more of an underactive solar plexus. Now, if you're extremely if you're irritable and angry, if you're an angry person and you project onto others all the time, it's your fault, you blame people, or you're controlling or extremely perfectionistic and you're always tense, that is an indicator. And you have trouble in relationships, that could be an indicator there's too much. So the solar plexus energy is really very powerful. Think of the color yellow and the sun and the fire is the element for this. We need to temper it down if it's too much, and if it's not enough, then inflame the fire or fuel the fire a little bit more, so that there's more of it. So it's really a question of you self-reflecting. And what we do then is what we're going to do in this meditation practice, is we're going to, based on where you feel you need, if you need less of it, then I'll give you something to do less, to have less of it. So you might need, your breathing's going to be different from someone who needs more. So it's very much, if you need more solar plexus energy, you need more confidence, you need to feel inspired and motivated, then you're going to need to amp up your breath, get it going so that you feel like you can, and start to use affirmations that are very powerful to you, that will help you believe in yourself. And that goes for if you have too much, like if you're a perfectionist, sometimes you think deep down inside you have to always try and be perfect, but it's never enough. So you need some affirmations that are going to help you with that. So I don't know what any of you struggle with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to reflect on that, and I'm going to take you through a meditation to help you decide on what you need. And your affirmation is going to be something very personal to you. I can throw out some ideas, but you might need to create your own. So affirmations and a yoga practice. I find that I've been teaching my yoga today, this past 2 days actually, and it's really been very powerful because I've been able to kind of work through this on a physical level. It's not just sitting within yourself. It's helping move the energy, because it's energy. Move it in a physical way through doing some core work and very powerful types of postures, which will kind of fire it up. And then you kind of find a midpoint and a balance. So I'm learning too how to manage this. I'm not an expert when it comes to the chakras, but I'm learning through doing these classes and doing it different, and also looking at foods, what foods might inflame it. And if you feel like you're overactive, you need some foods that are more comforting, like porridge and and very much yellow colored food. Vegetables. They say peppers, but for me, peppers would be more of a fire. So do I need that, or do I need something that is a little bit more soothing, like a banana, or something that's a little bit more comforting? Lemons are known to be really good for this as well. So inviting your eyes to close and sitting in your comfortable position. So whatever feels the most comfortable for you right now. Sitting up nice and tall. And start to explore the spine with your mind's eye. Exploring the different, the length of it, but also where it begins and where it ends. So we begin at the tailbone, and it works its way up we're going to end it at the crown of the head, as opposed to where the skull and the neck and the back meet, or the spine meets. So extend it to the crown of the head, and envision that in your mind's eye, what that looks like. Once you can see that spine, and then imagine what these chakras might look like on that spine. The very bottom of the spine, the tailbone, is the root chakra, which is the color red. And that's our chakra of stability, and it's how we root ourselves to the earth, helps us create the foundation for the rest of the chakras. So if that's off kilter, it impacts all of the chakras. So you might explore that chakra and wonder, well, there's something not quite right there. And that's associated with our, the earth, the element is earth, but also associated with our families, our tribe. Do we feel disconnected from them? Are we far away from them? Do we keep in touch with them? And then we work our way up to the sacral chakra, which is the color orange. And that's behind, that's above the tailbone. It's at the vertebra, it's the lumbar spine, so the lower back. And just imagine there what that's. It's an orange swirling wheel of energy. And that's connected to our sensuality, our creativity, our emotions. And you might find there's an imbalance in many of them, because if there's one imbalance in one area, it impacts all of the rest. So it's very interesting. As we go through these chakras, you might start to identify one thing that you can start to change. It's not everything. And then when we move up to what we're concentrating on today is the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, which is just in the mid-back, around the belly button. So when we do any kind of yoga, it's very much emphasis is on this center of our, what they call the center of our being. The center of the core is right in this space. It's the fire. It's also just below the heart chakra, where the heart chakra is the transition from our material world and the spiritual. So we're still very much in the material world here. And this is what the belief systems that we've carried with us. So what do you believe in? What do you believe about yourself? Do you find that you believe you are worthy, that you are a courageous person, that you do follow your own gut? And this is also gut instinct. Do you listen to your gut? Do you pay attention to it? Or do you not? Do you really struggle with this? Maybe it's just now, maybe it's a current thing, or maybe it's long lasting. And now you envision a yellow spinning sphere or wheel at the base, at the back of this chakra, at the spine, in the middle back. And start to imagine what that might feel like. And this is the center of our true self. Where do I lay? Do I lie? Do I lie between, am I very hard on myself? Do I expect high? Do I have very high standards? Do I push myself? Put pressure on myself, unnecessary pressure? Or do I not believe in myself at all, so I don't take any chances? And maybe the answer is just how you feel today. So you stick with today. And so imagine whatever that might be for you. If it was somebody else you were talking to with the same imbalance in their solar plexus chakra, what would you say to them? How would you help them? Would you tell them if they're perfectionistic, you're enough, you don't need to always be pressuring yourself. You can make mistakes, it's okay. You're just okay the way you are. Or do you need to remind somebody they're worthy, that you're capable? Confront the fear. Push through it. You can do it. And this is you're talking to, as if you are sitting in front of yourself and having a conversation, and your hands are you're holding yourself in each other's hands, and you're advising you how to feel. And as you connect to this solar plexus, feel this sense of safety from the root chakra, that you're safe and sound, that you're rooted down, that you're not going to fall, you are protected, you're secure. And you are very talented. Sacral chakra. You have gifts, you are creative, you have vitality. You're open to change, to try something new. And then the solar plexus takes you up, holds you up, and believes in you, and helps to motivate you. And this is the space in our chakra system, our energy system, that can often squash all that creative energy. Create that stumbling block for you to be everything that you can be. So sending love and attention into that space that can be quite angry or quite lethargic, or feeling victimized. Poor me. My life. Look at my life. I don't have power. I never did. So let the solar plexus, with the fire and the energy that's in you, that's in everybody, the same amount. It's just an imbalance of it. Maybe that energy can start to scoop up that vitality, the willingness to change, the wanting to change, the dreaming that happens in the sacral chakra. And it can scoop it up and start to help it find its way, so that things start to actually happen. It's not just a fantasy. And it might help if you haven't already. Place your hand. I place my hand on my solar plexus because it feels like I'm connected to it now. I'm sending it my love. My caring. I'm nurturing that space that is often very, very childlike and still stuck in the world of your childhood, or a little boy or a little girl self. Who was hurt at some point, or who made a mistake and was laughed at. or who was always told you have to keep plugging away. You're never good enough. You're not good enough unless you're perfect. So start to imagine that color yellow, that energy, that's powerful stuff. That could find that ideal amount of energy for yourself, whether it's a little bit less or more. And every time you breathe, that yellow energy begins to expand beyond just the solar plexus. And if it's too much, then just dim the color of the yellow, the tone of the yellow. Or brighten it if you need more. So let it be softer and more delicate if you need less of it. And let it be stronger and more powerful if you need more of it. And believe in the courage. Courage is an enormously important emotion within the solar plexus. It's there, it's in you. We're born with courage. But we start to chip away at it as we grow and we experience failures or setbacks, things that deplete that courage. But it can be filled back up. It's like a glass that can be filled back up with water. Filled to the top. You can even overflow that cup. There's never too much. But there is too little. So start to imagine that yellow spinning, whatever that hue of yellow it might be for you. Start to let it expand throughout the body, beyond the solar plexus. Allow it to become part of your heart center and your arms and your fingers and your neck and your face and your forehead and all the way down to your hips and your thighs and your ankles, your calves, your feet. Maybe you can actually see behind your eyelids the color yellow. And possibly your body is becoming warmer from the heat. If it's too hot, dim it down. If fear is one of the obstacles, but it is also used as an excuse. It's a perfect excuse because I'm afraid. So why would I try? And start to feel the vibrancy of your body. And this energy, the solar plexus energy, will not eliminate fear, but it will help you face it. It will give you the courage to face it, to look at it straight on without running or hiding. And let's take a few more deep breaths. And let the color yellow begin, that spinning ball of energy, begin to reduce it in size, make it smaller. Let it come back to its home, right at the solar plexus. Let it stay, come back to whatever size is perfect for you for right now. You might need to be just a little bit, or it might be a little bit bigger. Cool the body down. And take a few breaths through the mouth as if you're sucking the air through a straw. Or you can stick out your tongue and curl the edges of your tongue upwards. This is a cooling breath in yoga. So either as if you're breathing, you're going to inhale through a straw, or stick your tongue out and take the edges of your tongue and turn them in towards each other like a little tube. And let's do that three times. Breathing in, and then just exhale through the nose. Cooling breath. Stick your tongue out. Inhale. Through the mouth, and then close the mouth, exhale through the nose. One more time. Stick your tongue out. Suck that air up through the mouth. You should feel the cool air, and exhale through the nose. And closing the mouth, a few more just gentle breaths. Just regular, natural breaths, nothing too deep. And then drop your chin towards your chest and allow your eyes to gently open when you're ready. And take a moment here, keeping your eyes on the ground, adjusting to the light of the room or wherever you might be. And then begin to look around and readapt to your environment. And bring your hands in front of your heart. Bow your head to your hands. And just take this moment and say to yourself one affirmation that works for you. I am worthy. I am enough. Whatever you have chosen, whatever you need. I am love. I am perfectly fine the way I am. I'm okay. I have the courage. I'm courageous. Whatever that is. Have a lovely rest of the day, everyone. I will see you soon. Namaste. This is Rebecca Warrington from rjmindbody.com.